Chris Yardley is Senior Policy Manager of Road Freight Regulation at Logistics UK. Hi, it's good to see you.
Good morning,
Thanks for joining us on the programme. Are they going to be more dangerous, these longer lorries?
No. And I think the most important thing to say is that most of your viewers possibly have come across these vehicles already, because what's been happening for the last 11 years is that there's been a trial and the Department for Transport has been conducting this trial where about 300 companies have been using around 2,700 of these trailers on the roads actively and submitting data to the government, which has meant that the government has now finally been able to take that decision based on almost over a decade's worth of evidence that these vehicles are safe to use on the roads, that they only used on certain roads, so won't necessarily come into contact with vulnerable roads. Motorways and major A roads. So if the members,
if they're delivering something, they potentially have to go onto smaller roads, do they, or do you unload them, and what happens?
So the members of Logistics UK who use these vehicles, and we have a number of members who do, they are usually from distribution centre to distribution centre or point of manufacture to distribution centre. So they are only really active on the motorway network. And in the guidance that was produced yesterday by the Department for Transport, these vehicles can only be used on sort of prescribed routes. So there has to be route planning done by the operator and also a risk assessment on that route that the vehicles will be using.
Are you not worried about blind spots?
No, because these vehicles do need to comply with all the regulations that a regular-sized semi-trailer needs to use. So the turning circle.
The blind spot is bigger, is it?
No, the vehicle is just longer.
Yeah.
So there are active. So the vehicle, the tractor unit, will have all the mirrors in place to eliminate as much as possible the blind spot. Although there are blind spots on vehicles still, and work is happening to try and change that in the future with new technologies coming on the market and new vehicle designs coming on the market. But by and large, these vehicles will only be used on certain roads where cyclists and pedestrians will unlikely to be found.
What do they look like? How do we know the difference?
So they're simply longer. So the semi-trailer, which is the bit where all the goods are stored, will be up to around 2 metres longer, so around 15 metres instead of 13 metres. But that does mean that the person moving the goods can put up to around 4 pallets extra per vehicle. So essentially, if you're moving X number of goods, you can bring them on fewer vehicles. So there'll be fewer trips made with resulting positive fewer emissions.
And could these lorries get even longer?
No.
Why not?
Because that's the rules at the moment, and that's how they will be going forward.
Because they would be dangerous if they were longer, or?
No, there exists. So on the continent, you have the modular concept vehicle, which is 25 metres long. At the moment, there's no plans to have those on the roads in the UK. We're going to have these are the longer semi-trailers. So, but like I say, they've been operated safely on the roads of the UK, GB, sorry, not UK, for the last 11 years.
Okay, that's great, Chris. Thanks for explaining that to us. Much appreciated. Thank you. Let's speak now.